Each excavated stone weighed over a ton, with some even reaching 2.5 tons, presenting a significant transportation challenge. A special kind of clay found in Giza, when spread on the road and moistened, allowed the heavy stones to slide. But controlling the amount of water was crucial. Too little water would make it more laborious. Where it was not suitable to wet the path, workers laid logs on the road, allowing the megaliths to roll forward on them. Once the massive stone blocks were concentrated at the pyramid site, specialized stonemasons would cut and process them, embedding each according to the markings on the stone. Using simple plumb lines and squares, they managed to cut and polish each stone so smoothly and evenly that, even after thousands of years of erosion, they remained standing. The construction of the Great Pyramid of Khufu took a total of 20 years. Workers moved stones up the structure using long ramps made with Giza's natural sand and bound with mineral gypsum and mortar to create inclined surfaces. Archaeologists estimate that the slope ratio was approximately 10:1. An optimal balance for ease of transport and minimal construction material. However, as the pyramid grew taller, this method became impractical. A ramp to the top would have to be an extraordinary 4,800 feet long, requiring materials 3 times that of the pyramid. Thus, in the final phases, architects switched to more material-efficient spiral ramps. There's an opening 30 feet above ground, blasted open by 19th-century explorers, the only access to the pyramid's interior. Between the neat outer stones and the inner chambers, irregular stones were packed, perhaps a speed-building method by the ancient Egyptians. As the pyramid rose, architects had to plan for the internal chambers and access corridors. 3 chambers exist within Khufu's pyramid, the first, begun with the foundation due to its depth of 600 feet below ground. The Queen's Chamber, empty since its discovery, is roughly 100 feet high within the pyramid. The third, most significant tomb, commenced in 2474 BCE to become Khufu's final resting place, with a grand 153-foot corridor with walls of polished limestone tightly joined. During the pyramid's first decade, a barge brought 9 massive granite blocks from a quarry 250 kilometers away at Aswan. Weighing over 50 tons each and requiring 200 people to move, they are among the most significant in the millions of blocks in the pyramid. The sacred chamber at the heart of the pyramid was reinforced for protection. At the completion of the pharaoh's chamber, these 9 granites were to construct the roof. The architects drew center lines with red ochre on each granite block for precise alignment. Their size and weight posed significant challenges. Direct stacking would crack the granite, so architects inserted triangular wedges between layers to distribute the weight laterally instead of downwards. 5 of the 9 stones were used, leaving 4 gaps, 3.5 feet high, allowing workers to crawl through, leaving graffiti and ochre lines on the walls. When the pyramid reached about 100 meters in height, the materials for the final third could no longer be transported via the main ramp. Therefore, architects constructed a spiraling, mountain, ramp along the pyramid to avoid the enormous task of extending the main ramp. The capstone, shaped as a pyramidion with very smooth sides, required cautious handling and transportation. Stonemasons crafted a protruding stone plug beneath it, which workers rotated to align with a groove in the stone below, securing the pyramidion in place. After placing the capstone, the pyramid structure was essentially complete, but the exterior still needed finishing. The spiral ramp was dismantled, and the surface stones were added to make the pyramid smooth and polished. The outer casing stones are gone today, removed in the Middle Ages to build Cairo. By 2460 BCE, the immortal tomb was finished. A grand causeway on the pyramid's east side led to a temple on the Nile, serving as the temporary station for Pharaoh Khufu's body. Following Egyptian rites, the mummy would be placed in the underground chamber, then moved to the second level, and finally to the third chamber within the sarcophagus. Construction methods. The pharaoh was the king of ancient Egypt, and the pyramid was his tomb. Why did the pharaohs build pyramids? How were these colossal structures constructed? Some suggest that extraterrestrials built the pyramids, but what is the truth? While modern people might accept the legends of the pyramid's bold and wondrous design, the sheer scale of their construction process is difficult to imagine. The Pyramid of Khufu was built with millions of huge stones, each weighing on average over 2,000 kilograms, with the largest stones weighing over 100 tons. Herodotus, who is called the father of Western history, recorded that the stones for constructing the Pyramid of Khufu were quarried from Arabian Mountain, possibly the Sinai Peninsula. However, we know that most of the stones were locally quarried, and the limestone that adorned their surfaces was transported from Tura on the eastern bank of the river. Quarrying stones was not easy at that time, as people did not have explosives or steel drills. The Egyptians used chisels made of copper or bronze to drill holes in the rocks. Then inserted wooden wedges, which they soaked with water. As the wood swelled with the water, the rocks would crack. This method may seem primitive today, but it was quite remarkable over 4,000 years ago. Transporting the stones from the quarry to the pyramid site was also extremely difficult. Discussion on how the pyramids were constructed has been ongoing for centuries. One scholar put forward a persuasive and objective hypothesis, the spiral construction method. This involves building spiral, staircase-like structures along the pyramid's walls, allowing workers to ascend the stairs while constructing upwards. This method would eliminate the need for levers, crowbars, or cranes, which aligns more closely with the capabilities of the ancient Egyptians. In this century, as UFO observations and research have become more widespread. Some have even linked the mysterious pyramids to the unpredictable extraterrestrials reported in UFO sightings. They believe that thousands of years ago, humans could not possibly have had the capability to build pyramids and that only extraterrestrials could have done so. They also discovered that if the Earth were divided into eastern and western hemispheres along the longitudinal line of the Great Pyramid of Khufu near Cairo, the land masses of both hemispheres would be equal. This coincidence may have been intentional by extraterrestrials when choosing the pyramid's location. In the face of these enduring legends and scientific examinations, the pyramids of Egypt stand as timeless enigmas, inviting both awe and scrutiny. From the possibility of ingenious ancient techniques to the speculative assertions of extraterrestrial involvement, each theory contributes a fascinating layer to the pyramid's mystique. Yet, despite the myriad of conjectures, the true nature of their construction remains a testament to the ancient Egyptians' extraordinary ingenuity and determination. The pyramids, rising from the sands of time, are not merely tombs or monuments, they are a bridge to our past, connecting us to the aspirations and achievements of a civilization long gone. They challenge us to appreciate the full measure of human potential and to recognize the depth of our ancestors' skills and wisdom. While the debate on their creation may never cease, the pyramids themselves stand resolute, guarding the secrets of a world that once was, and whispering to us that sometimes, the greatest miracles are those wrought by human hands and minds. As we continue to peel back the layers of history, we may inch closer to unraveling the pyramid's secrets. Until then, they will continue to cast their long shadows over the landscape of human achievement, reminding us that there are mysteries in our history that are as profound and immovable as the stones of the pyramids themselves.